the dawn is near. Hope is rising, the change is here. No more sleeping, we hear the sound. Chains are breaking, new life is found. It's time for a wake-up call. Lift your eyes, God's got it all. Breakthrough is coming, stand up tall. It's time for a wake-up call. Rise up, shake off the past.
Good morning, Miss Ranella.
Moment was made to last.
Glad to see you here.
Beginnings free.
Say hello when you jump on this morning, folks.
It's time for a wake-up call. Lift your eyes, God's got
Good morning, Rebecca.
breakthrough is coming. Stand up tall. It's time for a wake-up call. Lift your eyes, God's got it all. Breakthrough is coming. Stand up tall. It's time for a wake-up It's time for a wake-up call. Lift your eyes, God's got it all. Breakthrough is coming, stand up tall. It's time for a wake-up call. Lift your eyes, God's got it all. Breakthrough is coming, stand up tall. It's time for a wake-up call.
Well, good morning, everybody. All of you who are starting to jump on here. Maybe you're watching one way or another. One way or another. He's going to get you. He's going to get you one way. You never heard that song, have you? Anyways, good to see you, Miss Ranella, Rebecca, Gail. I don't know where Linda is. Maybe she's watching on YouTube. She was sound asleep when I left the house this morning. I woke up very early, 3-something, and went in the living room. And the boys got up, Hagen and Nathan both. And then saw them. Hagen came, sat down in the living room with me and talked to Blue Streak for 30 minutes. I mean, just nonstop. And well, part of that time he was standing up. For probably 20 minutes he stood in one spot and talked like crazy. Up. I mean, he just went nuts. And then I can't see here. I don't know what Blondie. What is that all about? I must have missed something. Anyways, Blondie. Maybe you're talking about Linda. I don't know. Anyways, best way to start your day. Oh, you're so sweet, Miss Ranella. God bless you. God bless you. If you're getting on here, say hello. I I had been thinking about what to talk about this morning, and seeing I was a little bit on the not frazzled side, but my head was not in the game too much this morning, and so there were a lot of I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty sure. No, that wasn't Blondie on the song. No, but I know that. No, I always loved Blondie though. Ooh, A Heart of Glass. She's still out touring. You know that? Golly bum. Another way she sung that. Anyways, my mailbox every day is full of political ads, 6x9 cards mailed out by politicians trying to get our vote. And here's the deal. When I see the same politicians got a card in my mailbox every day, somebody's spending money on mail outs, and it's not, I know how much they cost. So it's, number one, it's not cheap, and it's every day. That makes me just wonder how frugal they're going to be. Because I don't think they're very frugal at all. Part of the problem I see on the political spectrum, especially in the local races, or your state races. Yeah, Deborah Harry, I think was her name, something like that. What I see in the local races, state races, is you've got, like here, we've got Governor Abbott going for a third or fourth term or something like that. Long time he's been in there. And so today, all the political advertisements that came on WBAP was paid for by him or somebody. He had partnered with politicians that he wants to be in there. Like he doesn't want Don Huffines for comptroller. I am not, and I will tell you, I'm not a Huffines fan either. He wants Huffman in for comptroller, I think is their name. And then a Tate guy for representative. And so they're basically sharing political ad space today. But then I get all these cards in the mail, and there's a hotly contested race for a state rep in our area here between in the Republican primary between Angela Orr, who is the current rep, and Cat Wall. Now, for me, I don't. Neither one of them are strong candidates. Now, I voted for Angela Orr a couple of times. When she first ran the first time, for sure, I met her. I know her personally. I met her at some political events. We became friends and that sort of thing. But I can tell you for a fact she is not. She's only started touting things in the past few months since it's re-election time. And I'm not impressed with what she's done so far. A couple of good bills, but she sided with Democrats a couple of times on things. Cat Wall is a move in from the Houston area. I think she tried to run for a couple of things down there and never made it. Of course, it's hard for a Republican to win in Houston. It's Democrat controlled. Most of your big cities are. That's why they're in such a nasty financial mess. And so now you got Cat Wall against Angela Orr on the Republican side. Neither one of them, in my opinion, are strong candidates. So, but Angela Orr's had a couple of terms to prove herself, and she's proven herself to be a disappointment. So, Linda's saying she's voting for Catwall. I will probably do the same, but I'm not my mind's not fully made up on that. I'm not a big fan of either. On the governor's side of things, there's a somebody. I never even heard of him. I forgot he was even on there. And then you got Governor Abbott. In this case, it's the lesser of two evils. Okay. Abbott is he's mediocre right now at best. Okay, I think he would have done better if I think things would have been better if he just got out and didn't run, and then let some qualified candidates step up. And this is some of the problem we have. We have the career politicians that you voted for Catwall. Bless you, guys. Thank you for watching. The Stolzenbergers. Boy, oh boy. I always ask, what was your last name before it was Stolzenberger? I hope I'm saying that right. I may not even. If I'm not, please forgive me, because I do make a big deal out of names because people mispronounce mine all the time. So I try to get everybody's right. But it's funny because I got a friend down here at Incommons Bank, Amanda Baumgartel. Her name was Smith before it was Baumgartel. I'm like, man, oh man, you went from easy spelling to probably a college education to spell Baumgartel. But yeah. Anyways, Abbott is just the lesser of two evils. The other guy's unknown. I don't know where he's. I haven't seen an ad. I ain't seen anything. But Angela Orr sent me something about every day, and my mailbox is full up of junk from her, which is not saying a whole lot. I see. This is the kind of the way I say. You can get out there and throw your stuff around and accuse this person of lying, and this person doing all that. I really don't care too much about that, so much as I care about the voting record. If they're an incumbent, I want to see what you have done to improve things. Then we can go from there. All the finger pointing and stuff is just a real turn off to me. Andrew and I was talking about it the other day. He said, "Man, I am so sick of all these ads in my mailbox, man." He said, "My mailbox is full of ads for this candidate and that candidate, and it's every day somebody's spending a pile of money on postcards." I'm like, maybe they bought the Butt Ugly postcard course that they advertise on Facebook. That's what it was. They said, we're gonna send the fire out of these things. But Abbott does have a fairly conservative record. But and he talks a lot about the one thing that I want to see, and I know all of you want to see. Here it is. I think this needs to be a major issue, and that is the complete and total elimination of property tax. Because now people are saying, well, if we get rid of property tax, the schools aren't going to have any money, and we'll have to figure out where it's going to come from and all that sort of stuff. Let me tell you something. The school system is a failing system. And all we're doing is pumping dollars into a failing public school system. My big toe is smarter than a lot of the kids coming out of our public school systems, where 60% of them can't even read, can't do basic math. They have no people skills. They don't know what's coming or going because the educational system has indoctrinated and dumbed down the young people of today. Listen, I know I'm partial to and the school system is run by Democrats. The Texas Teachers Association, all of those things, the National Teachers Association, are all run by liberal yahoos that are absolutely ignorant, and I don't even know how they got through school. It is crazy. I'll tell you how crazy. I'll tell you how some of this is crazy. I know the Canadian Teachers Union purchased $3 billion of a company that I have done work for some of their subsidiaries. But a teachers union spent $3 billion buying another company and investing to grow their finances, and then it didn't work out so well, so they sold their interest in it. Why? Because they're teachers. They're not investors. What in the heck? Anyways, the school system is so sadly broken, but there is a simple way. And it's so simple that every politician is stumbling over it and falling down over the simplicity of it, which is just simply get a simple state sales tax across the board, take the sales tax that we already have, bump it up a little bit, and everybody pays, even when the illegals who are not supposed to be here go to buy groceries or get gas at a gas pump or whatever, they're going to pay as well. So some of them are not paying property taxes and that sort of thing. And if you live, I'm not too familiar. I just know that I have a friend that is over the appraisal district here in Freestone County, and he told me he doesn't come out of hiding till about June. Because everybody's looking for him. Do they even require a teacher to have any sort of further education beyond high school today? Oh yeah. They all have to have a bachelor's degree, I think. They can get a temporary teaching certificate, I think, if they have an associate's. I'm not really fully sure on that, but I'm something along that line. But, excuse me. But the school system is terribly broken. It seems to me that they're out of school more than they're in school, and it's just failing. And if we went with a hike in the sales tax, just a little bit, it doesn't take a lot. Because if you stop and think about it, counties have bond issues where they, raise taxes like a penny on something, and it just, brings in $13 million or $20 million in a short period of time just by doing that. And so a slight raise to the state sales tax would cover any money, I think, going to teachers' unions. I could be wrong, but I think there are a lot of people who are, who, if you did that, it would definitely raise. And Texas has a surplus, all right, several $1 billion in surplus. It's not like it's broke, okay? Not like California, who is in the hole. Did you know that every Democrat-run state in the United States is in the hole pretty severely? Every one of them. In Democrat-run cities, they're borrowing money just to stay afloat like crazy. It is unreal. And that's why in the United States, the deficit is so much. It's because in the years where you have the Democrats in there, they think they can spend their way out, give away free money and somehow improve the economy. Well, it never has worked, never will work. And now we have a nation full of lazos who are just sitting around the house sipping 40s, watching TV, and doing nothing. And it is a crying shame. It is a crying shame. What is it? Oh, Linda and Rebecca are having conversations, and anyways. So, this election cycle. Now we're in the primary season right now. In this election cycle, I would encourage you, and you can. This stuff is readily available online. Is to look at the voting record, get some type of comparison between the candidates, and then go with the candidate that is the most biblically, fiscally, conservatively sound candidate. And this will require you doing something. A lot of times we just take other people's word for it, and I don't do that. At our house, we don't do that. We weigh a lot of options. We're looking at who they are, how they've supported the state, their voting record, what they have done to make changes. Have they set us back anywhere? Have they put us forward? I'm looking at all of those things. And so we have decisions to make and with those people. Now, I think Linda and I are pretty set as far as ag commissioner. We're pretty set on Sid Miller. He's the current guy that's in there. He's been a Trump ally, a smart guy. I think he tries to do the right thing. And the other people running against him, I'm not real sure about. But Sid Miller's got a good record. If the I don't know because, and listen, we've got a lot of guys out there, and I hear it every morning of these guys coming on in their political campaigns. This person is stopping the Muslims, and this person is doing this, and they're not in any elected office. They're just saying basically what they think they would do. But I don't like that either. That's kind of misrepresentation. You can get up, if you're running against an incumbent, you don't have any political experience or any real voting record, well, put out what you would do and where you stand on something and give the people a choice. Don't inflate anything. Don't act like you've been in this a long time. Just state who you are, what you stand for. And when you're in the public forum, get up there, say what you're going to do, and then if you're elected, do what you're going to say. Because I don't know about you guys, but I am really, really tired of people who say one thing and do another. And it happens all the time. Listen, I know people make mistakes, and maybe sometimes you get in there and you find out there are other factors going on you had no idea about, and you have to make some adjustments. I understand that. But we're in a critical situation here. The Texas economy is performing well, but it could be better, a lot better. And we are now finding out about all kinds of fraud that's going on right here in the state of Texas. And I found out something yesterday about Limestone County, and I'm not going to go into the details, and definitely not going into who told me, but it was a reliable source. But in Limestone County, I'm hearing that some of the precincts in the county precincts are already out of money. And they're all talking about they're broke and They don't have money and all this sort of stuff. And then you've got, on top of that, got that stupid windmill farm out there that's partly in Limestone and partly in McLennan County. And they are taking down 100 of the windmills over there and replacing them with 60 much bigger ones, and supposed to be more efficient because the other ones were not performing. Well, the whole thing is a sham. It is nothing but a cotton-picking, goat roping scheme. It's all it is. They get funds from the government, and the government shouldn't be funding these things. Let the private sector handle these sorts of things. And if they don't have the money to do it and the investors to do it, and privately in the private sector, the government should not be giving them any money. Because wind energy is lackluster, it does not perform. I put the numbers to it myself, and there is no way those windmills over in east or west of here in Limestone and McLennan County can produce enough electricity for 1,000 homes. I mean, it is definitely a sham. Yes, Linda, it is. It is a sham. And we're being scammed by all this stuff. Now, it does help a little bit with the local economy. Like, well, I'll give you, for instance, they're close to my home, 6 miles from my house, on 2777, County Road 2777. No, it's not County Road, it's State Road. 2777. They're putting a solar farm in there that's covering, get this, 500 acres. 500 acres of solar farm. Now, and it's going to be an eyesore on the countryside. I like solar to some degree, but I think instead of putting in solar farms, they ought to have an initiative to allow people to get solar on their homes, get some tax breaks for that. But one reason they're not going to do that is if they started allowing people to put solar on their homes and write it off or get tax breaks, your electric companies like Navasota Valley, Encore, all of these different ones would take such a hit. And they represent a lot of money to these political campaigns. Follow the money, folks. Follow the money. 500 acre solar farm over there. And it is just ginormous. It's covering two sides of the road, actually two sides of one road and one side of a third road. And it is absolutely redonkulous. I'm telling you, it is ridiculous. It is crazy. And these guys are, they're getting subsidized to put those things in. Now, here's my opinion on energy. And I think we need to be rallying for this. The best and most efficient, cleanest energy that is out there and is readily available and can produce mega watts of energy is nuclear. Nuclear energy. Nuclear power plants outperform coal and gas and all the other ones and can produce a ton of energy. Now, when you hear nuclear, people think of 3 Mile Island, how they had a leak over there at that place, but they've never been anything since. And the efficiency of it and the way they build them today is just amazing. And you're not going to have any kind of fallout or anything from that. I think there's a nuclear plant over by Glenrose, if I'm not mistaken. But we we need to get to the things that work and get away from the things that don't work. And now I believe in coal. I think coal should be an industry that needs to be revived around the world, actually. But coal is a good industry. And I grew up here in Fairfield, where we had the coal mine here. There's one in Cossey. There's one in Jewett there. And they're, burning coal there for energy in those plants there. Now the Fairfield plant is shut down. They imploded it. It's all gone. And now we got a resort out there. And Lord have mercy. I don't want to say nothing about that. But anyways, $400 million lots. 400 is what's around the lake out there now, which once used to be the power plant employing people here locally. Is now a bunch of 400 lots with 16 yuppies building houses out there right now. But, yeah. And then people want to blame the state and blame this and blame that. All we can do is blame ourselves or putting idiots in there. Anyways, so we got a lot going on. Now, the most important thing that's going on will be the midterms in November. And folks, I cannot tell you, I'll be more vocal about this as we go because we want to keep it in the forefront of people's minds. But my friends, we have to advance the conservative cause at any cost in the House and in the Senate. Because if the Democrats get any kind of control in there, if they get any kind of control in the House or the Senate, it will be impeach, try to throw Trump out, try to arrest him, try to do whatever they can, because they are so PO'd over their losses. And folks, we cannot afford to allow these cheating, lying, sorry people to get into office and start this mess again. They're two-time and backstabbing folks that talk out of both sides of their mouth. Listen, Schumer, there's a video circulating right now of Schumer back in the 80s, I think it was, talking about we need voter ID for picture IDs for people who are going to vote to secure our elections. And now apparently he's forgotten what he said because it would be in agreement with Trump. So he's out there, oh no, we don't need that anymore. You see some of these politicians when they're confronted with the SAVE Act and having voter ID and proof of citizenship to vote. So some of these Democrats, they won't even talk. They're just rude, ugly, hateful people. We cannot afford this any longer. Now we found out with all the cheating they did in 2020, the election fraud, ballot fraud, all kinds of fraud you couldn't possibly believe. All of this has gone on, and people just sat there and shut their eyes and turned their nose up at it, and then called other people crazy and called Trump was crazy, and they tried to indict him over it and arrest him and fine him and all this sort of stuff. And now we're finding out it was all true. Some of us knew it was true all along. Now, I got a hold of some printouts from some of those. I got it through Telegram, so it was a secure thing that was being shared there. But I got some of the machine voting data from the terminals, and I could see what was happening on there. So let's say a vote came in for Trump. They take 3/4 of the vote away from Trump, only give him 1/4 of it, give 3/4 of a vote to Biden. That's why he started ticking up like he did. So the fraud was enormous. And we just can't trust these people. And also, I'm hearing something about term limits. People talk about term limits in Congress and the Senate and that sort of thing. There is a thing called term limit. There is term limits. It's called voting. Just don't vote for them until they put a term limit law, come up with a term limit law that defines it. What we should be doing is a senator should only be allowed 2 terms. That's 6 years. You see, something like that. 6 to 12 years, whatever it is. 2 terms for the senator and out. We shouldn't even consider voting for them. Same way with representatives. They should serve maybe 2 to 3 terms. I think some of them have 2 terms. I mean, they're 2-year terms. So after 4 years, out. 6 at the most, out. No more of this 30, 40, 50-year career politicians and telling us they're there to get a job done. They need to finish the job. When is it ever going to be finished? Nothing is ever finished. It just gets worse, and they're padding their pockets at the same time. So we've got to stop this stuff. We've got to get rid of it, and we've got to quit playing games and just keep, because all we're doing really is kicking the can down the road. Bang, bang, bang. Kick it down the road. And so we got to stop all of that. We got to stop. We got to stop and say we're going to make some real changes. We're going to do something that's impactful and make some real changes. So I would encourage you, do your due diligence for this election term. The primaries, they're going on right now, and the midterms, we have to turn out the vote in the midterms. And so I just want to encourage you to be prayerful, ask God what you're to do, who you're to vote for, who's on his heart, who's going to perform what they said they're going to do. And we need to get aggressive about real change in our country. Praise God. Well, listen, we love you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Hopefully I can get my mouth moving here. I'll see you tomorrow morning, Lord willing, here on the wake-up call. We love you, and do your due diligence. Get out, find out what people are standing for. Who's up for election in this area? You got commissioners that are up for election. You've got city people are up. Find out. See where they stand. Have they benefited your county? Have they benefited your city? Have they benefited your state? Have they done what they said they're going to do? And then vote accordingly. Amen. Amen. Praise God. I'll see you tomorrow here on the Wake Up Call.